Get up!
Good evening. It is Thursday, August 12th, and we're here down at Bar Fongool. It's Genius Kev. I'm hosting tonight. Some of you may know me from the Legit Fantasy Basketball Show, others from Legit Paranormal, but for those of you that are new, I have a degree from Columbia, I qualify for Mensa, and I have some Bitcoin in the bank. But tonight, I'm tending bar down at Bar Fongool. And we're going to keep it a little light this evening. Usually, I like to kind of keep things structured, but we're going to kind of keep it loose. We got a lot of other guests joining, and I think I see King Michael walking up to the bar. How's it going, King?
How you doing, Genius? It's great to be talking. It's great to be talking.
Good. You do that well. I saw Brother Ray pull into the lot, but I think he's looking for a handicap spot. Then he's going to get the rascal down and ride it over because I know he's got another injury. So while waiting for Brother Ray to make it over, we'll introduce M1, Mastradamus, Mr. Never Left. How's it going, Matt?
Well, keep going on. I got like 10 more names. God Hog. What are we missing? What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Great. I'm surprised you're even able to join us with the Patriots playing preseason tonight. We'll talk about it, but I'm surprised. Thank you for making the time.
I'm waiting for Mac Jones to come in right now. Cam's in there, so
nice. All right. Look, I think TJ's walking in. He's got his bottle of water. We usually shut him off after two Pellegrinos. Oh, he's got the still tonight. How's it going, Coach?
Pretty good, Kev. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm down in New York. I'm going to be driving to DC tonight, so we're keeping it light. We're staying on cider. That's it. So I'm going to kind of keep the show light also. Looks like Brother Ray has made his way to the bar. Brother Ray, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, nobody will ever confuse this group in a Mensa meeting. Never. Forget about it.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, so tonight I wanted to hit a couple of, just big topics in sports. Again, we'll keep it loose. We'll kind of move around. I didn't even write a no card tonight, which is, a little bit frightening. So, I'm gonna kind of just let things flow. But first of all, we got to hit NFL. Talk a little bit about preseason. Talk about some of the bigger stories coming out of camp. But since the games have started, there's two underway already. It's New England and Washington, and then we got Philly and Pittsburgh. So we'll start New England, Washington. I mean, preseason week one, not a lot to watch, but the big thing is positional battles. So what are you guys looking for in that game? I mean, the obvious thing is Cam versus Mac on the New England side. But I guess what are your thoughts on this game tonight? What should fans be looking for?
Well, let me jump in.
Oh, hold on, he's muted.
Fans should not be looking for much. How about that in preseason games? Fans should be hoping their favorite players don't get hurt. Like literally, that's all I'm hoping for. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting kind of like, it's kind of sloppy. It's a sloppy. The Giants aren't even playing a lot of stuff. And may I just go off track for 1 second here? For those of you that wear tank tops, like, would you understand what I meant if I said to you, I was getting ready for the show and I put my tank top on, but I didn't want to LL Cool J my underarms too much? Does anybody remember that?
The white deodorant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you the only one? Does anybody else remember him doing Mama Said Knock You Out live, unplugged, and his arms are up and it's just all white caked up? You don't really? That stuck with me. That stuck with me till now. Whenever I wear a tank top, I go, does it look like LL Cool J? All right, never mind. Go ahead, forget it.
All right. Well, Mastradamus, we'll unmute you. Somehow you're always muted. And let's get your comments. Okay, looks like King's got it. Let's get your comments on tonight's Patriots game.
As much as I do agree with King, you want to get off, the field unscathed without, you want to be healthy and not injured. But I disagree. I think that this is huge. This is Cam Newton's final hurrah. Brother Ray has him in the driver's seat. I am saying he's unseated. And I think that, where is he right now? He's out there with the starters. That is who he is. He is the starter. If he does not have an impressive preseason, and tonight is game one, he will be unseated. If Mac goes out and has 10 or 14 touchdown to, I don't care. The pressure is on. There's a lot of people that say that it's Bill Belichick. He's okay. He's not okay. They just spent the most money in free agent history because they want to answer Brady winning the Super Bowl last year. Not just Brady winning the Super Bowl, even though that added to it. They need to win. They need to win. They need to be in the playoffs, and they need to have a winning atmosphere. They don't have that. And if they don't have that, Bill doesn't have his mojo, his right to talk to people the way he does. Everything goes out the window. And since you, King, thinks Bill Belichick's such a defensive guru, then we should see that. But you're so eager to put your Giants against my Patriots because you know.
You're right. That's why I do it, because I do know. I know the Giants will be better. You're correct. I know. And I know that Bill Belichick is also a Hall of Famer and probably one of the best defensive coordinators ever.
All right.
Really?
So we're gonna get to the Giants a little later. So before you two start your back and forth, I just want to ask Coach or Brother Ray, anything you guys want to say on this game? So I do want to hit quick the Philly-Pittsburgh game, which is also underway.
Well, yeah, Philly scored an 80-yard touchdown.
Actually looks like. Oh, sorry, Ray. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Philly just scored an 80-yard touchdown because Watkins caught a bomb. So, I mean, these games.
Who was
really
the bomb from?
Flacco.
Who was the
Joe
Flacco.
Oh, it's funny that you bring up Joe Flacco because small town time school, right? Like Jimmy G, like Tony Romo. It's time to stop with this small team. Josh Allen.
Bullshit.
Who did they play against in college? No. I'm telling you right now, this talk of these kids playing against no school talents, it's out the window now.
This is all bullshit, what he just said, because he thought the answer was going to be Jalen freaking Hurts. We're not dumb in the bar.
It was a good recovery.
Dumb here. You know what, Ray? This should be a Mensa meeting. And then when bullshit like that get by me, he goes, who threw the bomb? Kev goes, Flacco. He goes, Flacco? Small schools. Bullshit.
Yeah, I like the recovery though.
It was a great recovery, an incredible pair.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But so before we move over to Pittsburgh, Philly, I just want to let you guys know I did bet New England -0.5 point first half in the preseason game 1 tonight already. So I'm getting ready for the season. Anyway, so.
Is it going to be like, should we call you degenerate, Kev? Like, what's going on betting the very first game of preseason, for Christ's sake?
There's a phone number you need to call.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin, who did you take?
Preseason, man.
New England -0.5 point for the first half. Because I figure they have to sort out some of the Cam Mac stuff, so they'll probably play the stars a little bit. So we'll see. But hey, look at brother.
Preseason football.
First week. All the stuff we said on these shows, that's one of the best reactions I've ever seen from Brother Ray. It looks genuine concern, I think. All right, so moving to Pittsburgh, Philly. So Pittsburgh, you want to see offensive line, you want to see Najee Harris. Philly, you want to see the wide receivers, you want to see the quarterbacks. I guess we'll start with Coach and Brother Ray. What are you guys looking for in this game? Coach, you go first.
Well, first of all, when you place that, whoever actually processes the data at the website is like, hey, do you believe this shit? We got one. Like, you were like the only bet in the country on the first half Patriots prop bet. Outstanding. But I'll tell you, the one thing I did want to see, and I'm not going to see it, I wanted to see what Ben Roethlisberger looked like.
Yeah.
Like, he's old. Like, is he going to look old and fat and, like, beat down, or is he going to look like he's always looked old and fat and beat down, but I wanted to see if there was anything to look at, and he's not even going to play. And I guess he earned that right. But of anything in Pittsburgh, I mean, I don't get so caught up in what the rookie's going to look like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe week 3 for that. But yeah, I was looking forward to seeing what Ben looked like after a year off, and I don't know what it's going to, we're not going to get it.
Yeah. Brother Ray, anything on your side?
I mean, Najee looks good. He's averaging 5 yards a carry, 1 catch for 9 yards. I mean, again, but it's way, way early, folks.
Yeah.
These games are often mirages, especially, you get a team like, when you have the Patriots, they're not going to show anything. Bill is not showing you anything in these games, and these teams are as vanilla as it gets. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the first episode of Hard Knocks, but you heard it. I mean, the Cowboys were talking about it. We're vanilla, but we're going to go out there and hustle, but we're not showing anybody anything. So I just can't believe you placed a bet on this crap.
Hey,
I was actually thinking about it, and I would have took Washington for the game. I don't know how I feel about the first half, but I think that the New England given 1.5 screams Washington takes it. That's what I think.
and Mac Jones is in already, so hopefully he plays. Hopefully he plays a little longer than Cam. But the other thing on the Philly side, the guy that caught a touchdown, he's actually one of the sleeper receivers for them. So it's a good showing for him with that catching that bomb. It sucks we don't get to see Devonta Smith, but he's out. But that I was excited. I was going to mention that guy who just caught the bomb, but his play speaks for himself tonight. All right, so that's kind of preseason stuff. Now, other NFL kind of big stories, and we're going to get to the Giants and we're going to get to the Cowboys because of Hard Knocks, but just a couple of other big ones that jump out. Bad news for Rashard Bateman in Baltimore. He's hurt. I guess Ray, you're probably the one who spends the most time looking at rookies and analyzing how they fit in. With Bateman with that injury, and he's probably going to miss most of the rest of camp, maybe up to week 1. How do you see that affecting his development? How do you see it affecting fantasy?
It really hurts him because of the team that he's on. I mean, this team is trying to do something with their passing game, which really has been stalled the past couple of years. Everyone's blaming the quarterback, but I really think it was that offensive coordinator. But I mean, he was going to move in as potentially the number 1 wide receiver on that team. Now, without him in there, they're back to square one. I mean, they got Sammy Watkins, who I despise. I hate that man. I really do. So much potential, and he just hasn't done anything the past couple of years. Yeah, he's got a Super Bowl ring, but he is a fantasy bum. Let's just say it. So, yeah, I mean, they don't have much. It's going to be tough for them. They need him back in the lineup. He's eventually gonna catch fire. He's someone you can get late in drafts, though, because he will slide.
Yeah. And the other half of that is also Lamar misses 10 days with COVID, so their overlap has been like 1 or 2 practices. So they're gonna have not really played together when David's back.
Yeah, but that kid, the thing is though with that kid, the only thing he's got going for him is that he's good at routes, right? So like there's guys like the guy the Giants got who's just one of those get the ball in his hands type person, and then you got Bateman who runs really nice routes. So if anybody could miss time is a guy who runs routes. That's all I'm going to say. Like you can set him on basic routes,
Yeah,
I agree. And I actually think that once he comes right back in, if he does come back in week 2, he's going to be their number 1 receiver, and he's going to pay dividends. I think he's that guy.
Yeah. I hope so for his sake. TJ, any comments on that? If not, we're going to move over to the Jets. I know you like talking about making a little commentary on the Jets.
Oh yeah, I definitely love the Jets. But, I'm bumping Mark Andrews up a couple spots. Just based on that news, he's a security blanket. He's always a solid guy, but maybe bump him up a couple spots. But besides that, the Jets, it's always riveting over there.
All right, so
hey,
Jets.
Kev, did you see what the Saints did today? I just wanted to bring this up real quick. We'll get on it. Get off.
No, you do it up. I was going to do the Saints next, but I'm cool with hitting them first.
All right, they're the first team to announce that you have to have a show proof of vaccination or a negative test to get into the stadium.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, this is for fans.
Fans. So
okay.
They're the first to set the precedent. So we'll see how many. It's going to be weird too, because I think a lot will probably do that. I think a lot more than you think will do that, and I think the ones obviously it's going to be a split. It's going to be an odd split, is I guess what I want to say.
Yeah. Like I doubt the Cowboys will. I doubt that the Southern teams probably won't do it. It'll
a lot of petty lawsuits.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can be asking for people's medical information. I think that's
it's going to be weird.
So bad.
Especially, we don't want to spend too much time here, but especially in Louisiana where it's like 37% black and 74% of them are not vaccinated. Like that's really a thing that's going to be a problem in Louisiana. I'm telling you, this is not going to just come and go. This is going to be a thing when some lawyer gets his hands on it, and God forbid they're from like the NAACP when they do it. Interesting.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought of that angle, but yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Kings, this came out today. The first one to announce. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it came out a couple hours ago, 2 hours ago, I think.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. Well, I'd be interested to see what like New England does, what the New York teams do. But staying on New Orleans, the Michael Thomas thing, and that's a really weird situation because as more detail leaks out, he's looking worse and worse. And obviously, there's two sides to every story. But apparently, he knew in January he's supposed to get surgery. He waited until June. He's going to miss all camp. He's going to probably miss into the regular season. And brother, I believe you still have him as a keeper. I know you invested a lot of capital in Michael Thomas. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on him?
Actually, Michael Thomas, that would be Mr. Turner.
You traded him? Okay.
Yeah, I'm. Thank God I don't have him. I mean, he hasn't been returning phone calls either. I mean, he will not contact the team. Peyton was calling him directly. He wasn't returning his coach's calls. So it is kind of curious because Breeze is gone. And it's not like he had a great year last year. I mean, with the things that he went through, you would think he'd want to come strong and reestablish himself as one of the best wide receivers in the league. That is not going according to the plan. And you add injury to that, and that just makes it worse. So you got attitude, belligerence, and now injury.
No quarterback.
Breeze is gone. So that is not good.
No, exactly. And he's building no chemistry with either of the quarterbacks. So there's a lot going wrong there. Master Thomas or Coach or King, any comments on the Thomas situation? No?
It's just sad to see because, Mr. Dependable it really seemed like 75% of the offense rolled through him. Yeah. Every play was to him and, so clutch, giving his body up. I just really do feel like out of all the sports, the NFL doesn't get what the players should get on the field. And it sucks because they're tied to these players that are around them now, It just sucks because I think that it's like emotionally attached to Drew Brees, but he could go out there and prove that he can make one of these lesser QBs look better by being the receiver that we all know he is. And I do think he's incredible. He's done more things than receivers could dream of. He's unbelievable. He's a generational talent.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but it is a little bit about heart, right? And about the fact that don't you want to see a guy who'll play on a losing team? Do they all have to not want to play on a losing team? And the minute they realize that it might be a losing team,
who are the best players that we remember? We never seen Barry win. We seen him go to the playoffs one time. I think they won one game. I
love that he never left Detroit. I love that Barry left.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that he risks right now, though, because if things don't go well this year, right? If he doesn't have another year where he puts up monster numbers, then he immediately turns into a flash in the pan head case who was only good because Drew Brees kept pumping on the ball. Like that really does happen to wide receivers in the NFL. It's his best move legacy-wise if he gives a shit about that, and I question whether any of these guys do. Get on the field, dude. Get on the field and put up some numbers because it's going to look pretty ugly if we're 3-4 years from now when he's retired, he had 3 monster seasons. They were all with Drew Brees, and then that was it. Not good.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, guys. Antonio Brown. These wide receivers, they don't have the same collateral as the quarterbacks. They can't demand these things like quarterbacks can. I'm sorry. Your window is very short as an elite wide receiver, and you're going to make the most of it. I mean, look at Antonio Brown. I mean,
I can see myself in an argument down the line being like, don't give me that Michael Thomas shit. Drew Brees threw him the ball 185 times. Anybody could have put up big numbers like that. And then when Brees left, he sucked. And that, seriously, I can feel myself having that argument 3 off seasons from now. I can.
I like that you're planning that far ahead, Coach. That's good. Good trade there.
I'm going to put it in my Google Calendar now. 3 years, that's our topic.
But we know how much Aaron Rodgers loves throwing the ball to Devontae Adams. Who throws the ball to their wide receiver more? Is it Brees to Thomas or Rodgers to Adams? I think it's Brees to Thomas.
185's a lot.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely.
185 targets is all. You said the offense runs through him. That's
unbelievable.
That was crazy. Just for those of you that are tracking the Patriots game, Mac Jones doing completion in the end zone, got a safety, then New England kicked field goal, so it's 6-2 New England. So we got a little bit of a baseball score going on here. All right, so Jets. We got 2 big stories coming out of the Jets camp. One, Zach Wilson is looking not very good. I guess he had a simulated game over the weekend. He was like 7 for 14 against the first team offense with 2 picks, and they're not the most amazing defense. So I guess we'll do thoughts on Zach Wilson first. Then we'll go to Denzel Mims and the Jets cafeteria. So, yeah, Coach, I said we start with you. Any thoughts on Zach Wilson?
It's going to be bad.
Does it mean anything?
It's going to be bad. The Jets quarterback room sounds like when you pick like a mock team in Madden or something. It's Zach Wilson and Mike White and James Morgan. Nobody could have been put in a worse spot to that kid, and I feel bad for him. But any hype that there was, that's gone, and immediately the media is like blood in the water, man. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks with that kid as they ruin his entire life.
Exactly, King. I know you can always make a couple comments on the Jets. Zach Wilson. Did you park your car today when you pulled into the bar, or what?
Let's put it this way. Listen, the Jets are idiots. I mean, that's like a. It's weird, but it's like it's been like that for years. They're idiots. They're just a bad organization, right? And they went and they got the youngest looking quarterback I've ever seen come out of college. He looks like he skipped college, like a high school kid. And you're gonna take this happy cherub looking kid, right, with his hair all combed. You're gonna put him in a green Jets uniform and just trot him out there? Kev. Ask Brother Ray what's going to happen to this kid. Seriously, Brother Ray, where's this kid going to be in 3 years?
Joe Douglas, I mean, you know what? Joe Douglas put this kid in the prison yard in San Quentin, and this poor kid's walking around the yard going up to the Aryan Brotherhood. Hey, can I hang with you? Hey, can I play with you guys? Then he's walking over to the next group. Hey, guys, can you be my friend? He has, I mean, it's like he's up for the slaughter, the lamb up for the slaughter.
Master Oz, any comments on Zach Wilson?
You know what? I'm going to be opposite of everybody because I'm Mr. Optimistic. We've seen it again and again throughout the years that these kids come in, and it's more easier today play quarterback in the NFL than ever before. He'll be given every opportunity to succeed. I think, given his stumbling right now, it's going to happen. They're not going to look good in their first year. But if he can show anything, and they do have a very easy schedule, and like I said, I think that they're going to have 6-7 wins. I do. So I think that's
the King. King, you looked like a German shepherd who heard like a word they didn't understand what he was saying.
Because did he just say that it's easier to be a quarterback in the NFL now than it was then?
That's what I heard.
It's easier to be a quarterback today in the NFL than ever before. Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, it's easier to come in and play right away. This was unheard of 10 years ago for all these rookies to get drafted and then be starting as rookies. So in that sense, it is. Plus, you can't hit a quarterback anymore. True. But I can't disagree more. That has got to be the worst situation you could put a young kid in. Like, I coached in some inner city schools, and I can tell when the suburban kid gets the tryouts, he's not going to come back the next day. That's what he looks like when I see him on the practice field. It's like
what I see Corey Davis, 4th overall pick, who is a number 1 receiver, and then they got Randall Moore, right? Who's going to be probably take over the reins of the wide receivers. They're saying he's a head of the room leader.
Elijah Moore,
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I know.
They're saying huge things about him. And let's not forget Jamison Crowder. So he's got the tools.
That's a 3-win team. That might be a 2-win team.
I don't think so.
It's going to take more than 1 year to get the stink of Adam Gase off this team. It's going to take more than 1 year, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, because they're tied together now, and they're going to be given a.
All right. Well, we can keep talking about this stuff because the salmon delivery just got here. It looks a little bit warm. It's straight from the Jets facility. For those of you who haven't heard, Denzel Mims apparently got food poisoning from eating bad salmon from the Jets cafeteria. He threw up for 2 weeks straight. They put him on antibiotics. He lost 20 pounds. He's still trying to get back up to playing weight. So all those stories about Mims doesn't look good. He's fallen. He's just plummeting down the depth chart because he's been dealing with food poisoning from the Jets facility. So dig into the salmon, Brother Ray. It's nice and warm, like you like it. Got another heat lamps to make sure it gets up to room temperature.
Maybe it's poisoning the cafeteria.
All right, so
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Comment on that? Yeah.
Yes. First of all, that might be the best thing to happen to Denzel Mims. Maybe they redshirt him this year. He doesn't have to go out and be attached to this friggin' team with the little kid getting beat up. And then he comes back. He blames it all on the Jets. He gets another year. A red shirt might not be bad. I think this might be a blessing in disguise.
This is his second year, King. This is his second year. He broke out last year. He's doing all right. He's a good player, and he's actually going to be
a second year. But I'm saying he get redshirt this year, meaning he'll skip this year. I know he's not a rookie. And listen, Mr. Right. Positive, you don't sound very positive now. I'm saying this is a good thing.
I don't know if I can
it's not a good thing when you've got a bunch of his cards.
Exactly. Always going to have to go back to that.
Hey, hold on. And then the last 10 minutes, I did a little self-analyzation, and I said to myself, do you really believe in Zach Wilson? Because you don't have any of his cards.
Yep. Can I put a link?
Wait, so let me roll off that, though. And this is something I'll agree with, and I bet you Matt will agree with me on just this one thing. The 49ers are starting Garoppolo over Lance. And Trey Lance has looked like money in the bank in camp. Let Trey Lance play.
No.
Let Trey Lance play. Come on. Trey Lance is going to be the shit.
And he will be. And honestly, when I watch him, his game tape, he looks so stout in the pocket. He's a magician back there. They always said, watch the quarterback because he's got the cards. He's got everything. He tells it all. You can't see the things that he does is stuff like I've never seen a quarterback do before. And if he can elevate that to the next level, and I do believe he can, but I don't want to rush it. Imagine you get him in there and he gets cranked, he gets injured, and you don't get to see him. Keep things as like with Patty Mahomes, right? He sat the whole first year. Aaron Rodgers sat. I think there's something to that when you get to sit down and then you go in there and to get Brady sat.
All right, let me ask you this then, Matt. No. Why don't you want Mac Jones to sit?
Because he's better than Cam. But you don't rush.
Trey Lance is better than Garoppolo.
I don't believe that. Not right now. He's played against NFL defenses. He knows defenses. He's got 23 wins, 8 losses in the San Francisco uniform. Trey Lance doesn't right now. He's 0-0. Can he be better than that out of 31 games? I think he could.
Ray, how many T's? How many T's are in hypocrite, right? One?
You know what? I mean, Garoppolo doesn't have the experience. And one thing with Trey Lance, and the big knock on him is he's coming from a small program, and he hasn't played that many games on the college level. So, that's a big jump up when you go from his conference and now you're with the San Francisco 49ers. So I understand sitting him as opposed to a player like Justin Fields, who has played on the big stage against the top teams in the country for multiple years.
I think the other thing you have to factor in is that the aspirations of the team. Like the 49ers are a legit contender in the NFC. The Jets aren't. The Jaguars aren't. The Patriots right now, no one sees them that way. So you can kind of give a little. The Bears, you can see them giving a lot more leeway to a rookie. Whereas if you think you have a chance to go into the NFC Championship game, you're probably not going to turn over to Trey Lance right away and let him go through his growing pains. Like you're trying to go 14-3 or 13-4. So. All right, gentlemen. So, interest in time here, I want to talk about 2 other teams quick, and then we need to change sports because we have an NFL show on Sunday, and we're kind of getting deep into a few things. So, a couple things. First, we got to hit the Giants since they sponsor the show, and I know King Michael, you probably have something to say about injury to your wide receiver that you just signed in free agency. Galladay, whatever the hell his name is. He got hurt. He hurt his hamstring. He's going to be out for a few weeks. How does that impact the offense? And also, the offensive lineman got hurt too, Lemieux. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not worried about the Galladay injury. To be completely honest. I'm worried about the offensive line. They were running drills. They're so depleted at offensive line because they only have those 5 guys that think are starters. Everybody else can't really play, other than the guy from, I keep forgetting his name, from the Patriots.
He got hurt too, Solder. He got hurt.
Yeah, but he's like the only guy that can back people up, basically. So they actually had their assistant offensive line coach running drills during the last practice because they didn't have enough bodies to run the drills. So I like our starting line, but as far as depth is concerned, like I won't know, and we all won't know as Giants fans until like week 3 of preseason. So people start to drop players because they got to go from 90 to 85 for some odd reason after this first game, right? So then they're going to start to trickle down from there. So the Giants are going to be literally just waiting on the waiver wires like a hawk, just taking any offensive lineman they can. We don't even have it. Look, as any Giants fan will back me up, the fact that I'm bitching about the offensive line in 2021 is the worst possible thing. Dare I say it's very Jets-like. It embarrasses me as a Giants fan. The last couple of years have been embarrassing as a Giants fan, all right? Especially when you got to live around, like, see that flag right there, that friggin' flag? When you got to live around these people that just, woo! You know what I mean? Like, I can't stand the Pats fans around. Anyways, the Giants are killing me, Kev. Just repair the offensive line. Just next year, draft with all the draft picks you got from Chicago. Thank you, Chicago. Take offensive linemen, just go bing, 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 just get them all. I've had enough. We're good at every other position. Our defense is going to be top 10. It was last year, maybe top 5. Watch us and the football team. Incredible defenses, but the offensive line, I'm still bitching about. Makes no sense.
One of the things that I always look at with an organization is if you have the same problem year after year after year after year, there's something wrong with the organization. And that's what I like with Miami, could not build a run game for like a decade. And that was a huge problem when Marino was there, and it was Shula and the whole thing. They just could not build a run game year after year after year. So I always kind of wondered why. And this is like kind of the same thing. Like Giants can get an offensive line. There's teams that just have holes, problems that they just can't solve. But anyway, Ray, I'm going to give you a chance to rebut that if you want to. But then we got to move on to the Cowboys, and we're going to close out football.
No, I'm not going to rebut that at all. That was torture during Marino when it was basically no running and no defense. I mean, for years and years and years. Tom Olivadotti was one of their defensive coordinators. I mean, the guy couldn't cat if he spotted the C and the T. Well, I can go on and on. I mean, they had a bunch of tomato cans at running back. But, I mean, before I start flinging things around this room, talking about the days that they squandered Marino's best years, I think the Giants, without God, I think Galladay is going to be fine. I mean, he's the Air X receiver. He knows his position. He's a veteran. He'll be fine. It's actually going to give Tony now some extra reps, and that's actually a good thing because maybe they will slot him in as the X. He's got more size than Slayton. You know, Slayton's kind of thin, and Shepard can kind of play all the positions. So Tony gets some extra reps. Maybe that helps the rookie because he did start a little bit behind.
Cool. All right, so 30 seconds on the Cowboys. I have not watched Hard Knocks. I can't bring myself to do it. King, I know you had a couple of thoughts, and I want to make sure we get TJ Mastrom's involved in the conversation a little bit too. But Dak, the shoulder injury, you think it's a little more serious than they're letting on? You're not, you think the attitudes are coming out somewhere? So what have you seen on Hard Knocks?
All right, so I definitely think there's something more to his shoulder, without a doubt. I mean, they did another MRI. He's obviously having problems with it, right? So Dak, I foresee Dak not playing maybe the first couple of weeks, like being more not playing than everyone thinks because it's his shoulder. And why rush him back, right? On top of that, watching the Hard Knocks, that was just a bad idea for the Cowboys. It's a bad. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a bad idea for them. And I think their wide receivers are all a little cuckoo. Like seriously. Just my opinion.
All right. Is anyone else watching Hard Knocks, or do you? Of course, Brother Ray. I don't even. Besides Brother Ray, I'm in preseason. You're watching Hard Knocks. I think we're, think we're on the same level here. Coach or Master Thomas, any comments on the Cowboys? Or I do have one more final football thing, but any comments on the Cowboys?
Just that
Ben
they want
DiNucci.
Andy Dalton back. I mean, if they want Andy Dalton back, it's not going to take much. Like, how about just like you buy the flight and we'll ship him back? That's it.
Master Thomas.
Another year in the system. Ben DiNucci's looking great, they say, and anybody can play with the cast they have.
I love the new. You know what? The thing too with Zeke, I was getting a Ricky Williams vibe from him watching that first episode. I don't know if you guys saw the show, but I was getting a strong Ricky Williams vibe from Zeke. And it just so happens that the King traded Zeke yesterday.
I know. This 30 seconds after trading opened up, Zeke was shipped out of Sal's, whatever, Queen Sal's, whatever they are. All right, gentlemen. So one thing on Bobby Bowden, I actually heard a really cool thing about him last night. I know we talked about him on the last show. I was listening to somebody, Mike Lombardi, that was sending him a letter a week when he was a graduate assistant because he wanted to become a graduate assistant at Florida State, but he was going to a different school. He probably sent him a couple hundred letters. Bobby Bowden answered every one throughout his career, which is an unbelievable thing. And he met Bowden in person. He introduced himself, and Bowden's like, "You're that kid that wrote me like 200 letters," and so it's just kind of a really cool thing on his side. I don't even answer most text messages. For Bowden to reply to handwritten letters in that volume is amazing. So another kind of kudos to him. And then there was a monstrous Hall of Fame induction class. I'm not going to go through every player. I don't know if you guys have comments on anyone you want to specifically say, or we can just leave it out of congratulations, or if there's anyone you didn't think should get in. I was going to read the names, but we're a little bit further behind than I thought we would be. So anyone want to comment on the Hall of Fame class?
I thought there's some great ones. Like yeah. I thought like Peyton Manning, Woodson, Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, Tom Flores, Atwater, Steve Hutchinson, Palomalo, Adrian James, Isaac Bruce, and then you get like Steve Sable, the voice of the NFL.
Yep.
I don't know how Tagliabue made it in. I don't know, just because if you're the commissioner, you just make it in. But like George Young made it, which is like the Giants GM. He's the guy who made Parcells a coach. He's another guy like that. And then two coaches, Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher. Like I was actually trying to find one person in this thing that I didn't think deserved it. No, they're all. This is like probably the best overall, like for the quantity and quality of it, class they've ever inducted. It's ridiculous.
Cool. Anyone else disagree with that? Anyone want to make a comment on anyone specifically? All right, cool. We are off NFL and on to one of our favorite topics over the past couple of weeks, the Olympics. And two things I want to hit here. Number one, somehow the men's basketball team wins gold. They do not cover. They were 12.5-point favorites. I bet them at 7.5 points. I think they won by 6. So I'm still pissed off at Pop about that. Pissed off at Durant, even though they did all the heavy lifting. So all I want to ask you guys is, were we duped? Like, was it like it seemed like they were in really bad shape? They lost to Nigeria. They lost to France. They lost to Australia. They lost to Nigeria and Australia in friendly matches, and they lost to France in the first game of the Olympics. And then they kind of stormed through and win without a major sweat to the rest of the way. So were we duped to get all like hot and bothered about this stuff? Coach, we'll start with you since you follow basketball probably closest.
No, we got they were good by them winning. I think losing those games says more about where USA basketball is right now than winning the gold does. Like, yeah, all right, cool, we won the gold. These other countries are not scared of us anymore. Our talent level is not, maybe guy by guy, it's still higher, but it's not way over the top higher. I'm still concerned about the entire program. I mean, yeah, cool, we won, but we didn't win by 60. And it's not like France wasn't intimidated. I mean, France is out here talking about winning the gold the day before the game. That shit should not be happening in USA basketball. We're supposed to be the big kids on the block, and we're not anymore. So I learned more from watching them lose. I'm glad they won. There's going to be a time, though. There's going to be a time where whether it's Croatia or France or somebody else is going to just be better than us. And, USA basketball without Coach K has a lot of work to do in the next 2 years. Next 4 years, but the next 2 years specifically.
All right. King, you want to go next, King?
Yeah, I want to just go say something real quick. So the Russians, claimed that like other teams are out to get them, and so they said, this is a quote. It said, Russophobic beasts headed by the USA were out to get Russia. Now I had a problem with that because it says Russophobic. Russo, that's Italian, Kev. I think they're coming at the Italians again, and they're just sliding it in, pretending. Secondly, Joey Russo. Whoa. What the hell do they got to do with Russo? Why is it Russophobic? And why are we beasts, Kev?
I think when I don't know how to respond to this exactly, but Russo is commonly used for Russia and like in that sort of tense or phrasing. So like there's the Sino-Russo War is a war between Russia and either Japan or China, I forget which. It's commonly used that way. So it's nothing against Italians. I don't think Joe Russo, or whoever you mentioned, has anything to worry about. It's just phrasing.
Can we do this though? Can we do this? If you don't like something, right? Say I don't like Chinese people for whatever reason. Can we not attach the word phobic to the end?
I've brought that up several times.
Basketball?
Yeah. You're not afraid. You just don't like them.
Like the Russian basketball team. I didn't like them.
No.
I don't like them at all. But
anyway, so hold on. Let's get back.
I don't understand what the U.S. has to do with it. Trust me, U.S. basketball has bigger things to worry about than whether they're trying to pick on the Russian basketball national program. We got way bigger problems than what the Russos are doing 8,000 miles away. Whoa.
All right. So Brother Ray, Olympic basketball, and Coach CJ mentioned Coach K. There's another Coach K that wants to has expressed interest in coaching them next going forward. So Steve Kerr has said he's interested in taking over for Pop. So I guess your thoughts on the Olympics and this new Coach K, and what that means.
I mean, let's be honest. Coach Pop is not there for the long haul. I mean, he's no spring chicken anymore. I'm surprised that he even took it. I mean, you don't want to replace Coach K with someone who's going to be a one and done anyway. I mean, Pop doesn't have it in him. I mean, he's too old. So, I mean, Kerr is younger. It is good to get someone young in there that's going to be there around for a while that can relate to the younger kids. But Coach TJ nailed it. I mean, we're in a lot of trouble. Did it feel like we won the gold medal? Because for me, it did not feel like we won the gold. Even in that game, it did not feel like they were cruising to a gold medal. You were just waiting for the floor to just drop. And that's the way it was the whole Olympics.
Yeah, if you don't cover, you shouldn't get the medal, in my opinion. I mean, come on.
I mean, just to look at that roster, though. I mean, those aren't even the 12 best Americans. 5 of those guys aren't even in the top 20 Americans. And whatever they're trying to do, we did a great job of rebuilding the program. They have to do it again. I don't know if Kerr's a good enough recruiter. That's the only thing. I like Steve Kerr a lot. I think this job it's very important that you get guys to buy in, and it's very important that you recruit guys to want to play. Because one of the things Coach K did was he got Melo and Kobe and LeBron to play on the same team for the country. And I don't know if Steve Kerr is that guy that can do that.
2 words. Coach LeBron. Problem solved. Everybody that's great will come play.
Which country?
Am I wrong?
He'll be coaching China, that prick.
So what would a huddle look like, King? Tell us what a huddle would look like with Coach LeBron.
I don't know. He'd be like, I have no.
Well, he'd have to put his glasses on for the huddle. Like when he's calling plays, he'll put his glasses on.
He'd be like, Bugs is going to take the last
shot. You
take
a knee. You take a knee, and we're going to hand the ball to the fucking China.
All right. So now we're going to move to a bigger Olympic topic. The final medal count came out. U.S. won. U.S. won the most medals and the most gold medals, barely. So United States had 39 gold. China had 38. Then it drops to Japan with 27, and so on and so forth. It was now that I look at it, Russia might have a case. They only got 20 gold medals, but so U.S. is ahead of China by 1 gold medal, and they win the overall medal count by 25. So nice win, but I'm shocked at how far up China came in recent years. I think it just goes to show where their focus is. Some of the events they won, you wouldn't have thought they would win. They won a decent amount of swimming, but they also won a lot of technical stuff that you would think, like shooting and other stuff that's more technical. But I guess we'll start with M1, since he's our resident patriot here, and figuratively and literally. What do you think of sort of the rise of China Olympics wise? Are we focused on the wrong things? What do we need to do?
Tells you what I think of World War III. Tells you what I think it's signaling. They're looking at this and they're like, we're right there with them. That's what I think. I think that they're coming for the world power, and I think that they're gonna grab it. And I think we're gonna be taking a back seat to China, and I think that should irk everybody.
So the Olympics are a bellwether. So one of the things that once they take first there, we should be a little more worried.
I think we're the United States of China right now, and I think that everyone's seeing a little awkwardness going on. And what that is a little. And I'm not even going to touch on that. I'm going to switch it to another channel. But I think that what we'll see is.
All right. Cool. So, all right. So we'll keep it at sports focus. But you got the other three of you. Comments on the positioning, the amount of medals that China did win. They're typically not in second place. I'll tell you that. I went back through the years. It's a good rise for them. It shows that they're taking it seriously. And I think Mastronomis has a couple of real valid points. King?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So you get people that like they really want to be like a gymnast. This girl, like say she grew up in Pittsburgh. She wants to be a gymnast, practices all her life with her mom and dad drive her there on weekends. They get to do all that shuttle and shit, goes to college, all that stuff. She gets it to be really good. It makes it to the Olympics. There we go, right? That's how it happens. Now you compare that to someone that's like shoved in a little wooden box and poked with a hot poker every 3 hours and told, learn gymnastics. And then when they don't do the landing right, they come out with a big gigantic whip like Indiana Jones and they're like, smack. And they're like, smack. And they grab a chair and they just break it over a friggin' back, Kev, just to do it. They learn their gymnastics. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a coaching system. I think they have a better coaching system. They put more of a value on you doing your proper sport. I heard in swimming they drowned like maybe about 50 swimmers before they get the team together.
Coach, any thoughts?
Yeah, I do, because right now there's a great sense of national pride in China. There's a great sense of national pride, and you got people that almost remind us of how America used to be, where they want to represent their country, right? And maybe it's out of fear, but it's definitely out of respect, right? I know that they don't get away with the shit our athletes get away with abroad, so we have a team full of spoiled little pricks like Simone Biles, that quitting scumbag. And then we got people kneeling in soccer, and we got all these different political agendas on our Olympic team, and they don't have that.
All right, Brother Ray, close us out on the Olympics, and I'm going to take an L for this topic. It will and just kind of accept it, and we're going to move on. We're going to move on quickly.
Again, we're going to get to the point where there's going to be 4 out of shape white guys criticizing the best gymnast of all time for a legitimate injury. That's all I have to say.
Only 3, right?
As far as USA, listen, we used to dominate the Summer Olympics, okay? Handily. Like, the Summer Olympics was always ours. Russia used to challenge us in the Winter Olympics and these other countries. That, again, is changing. I mean, when you see China finishing higher than us in the 4x100 relay, the 100 meters, that's a problem. We have a problem.
U.S. finished behind Italy in running. Italy in running. I might be the tallest guy in the whole country. I'm 5'10". And we lost to Italy in running. Like that's something not right, man. Something is not right.
Although here's the problem I have with that, because Brother Ray was always the fastest kid of his grade, and people would come down to our neighborhood to race Brother Ray, and nobody could ever beat him. So to think that there's not a bunch of little fast Italians out there, I got to disagree because I know of one.
All right, there's one. We shouldn't be losing to Italy in track and field events.
True, though. Steve Neri, the other great North Providence track and field guy, another little Italian. Come on now.
I gotta say the fastest guy in North Providence is a title to be sought after, but it's not the fastest guy in the Olympics. All right.
Fastest guy in North Providence is like being the tallest midget.
All right, gentlemen. So we got the last formal topic. We're gonna get into it quickly. I want to give you guys the floor, each of you, to see if you have anything else you want to bring up. NBA. Now, obviously the draft happened. We talked about that. Free agency. We talked about some of the big moves, and I don't want to repeat all the moves. I just want to kind of get an opinion from probably King, Coach, and Brother Ray on what teams you like what they've done. Which teams you like the most, sort of, in terms of their moves so far? Because I spent a lot of time watching games this year, but I still don't think I understand how to put a team together. So obviously, Miami made some big moves. Philly still got the Simmons problem. Golden State, we talked about a couple of times. But who do you like with what they've done so far? And we'll start with Brother Ray.
I gotta say, I do like what the Lakers did. Obviously, I mean, a lot of people are saying, yeah, they got a bunch of old people. But they got some young players too, like a Malik Monk. They have some young pieces that can come off the bench and contribute. So you have to like what they did. I mean, I thought he waited, he bided his time, and then he pounced. And you got to give them credit. They did not stand pat. They basically went out and got everybody. They signed everyone. So I mean, you got to give the Lakers credit. And if you're going to win a championship, and you have a short window with LeBron, the director, I thought they did a great job. I also like what Washington is trying to do, basically the key players on their team. They're trying to make that move. I don't think it's going to work, but they did make an effort there, knowing that they were going to lose, a great player, but they did replace him with someone that could be a good piece, and maybe that keeps Beal. I don't know.
All right, Coach.
Well, I don't want to make it about Philly, but I just can't understand. I just can't take it. I just can't with them. But who really, what really bothers me is New Orleans. I think New Orleans doesn't understand that Zion will walk after this contract. Like, Zion's not one of these guys that's going to be. He's not Giannis or even Luka, where I feel like Doncic is going to live in Dallas for the rest of his life. Like, Zion is not going to sit around and lose, and they did nothing. And there were bodies flying all over the NBA. And what did New Orleans do to say to Zion, like, look, bud, we're going to try and make a run at this? And they did absolutely nothing. So it's bad for the NBA because when small market teams lose their stars, then they turn into lottery teams, and the cycle, rinse, repeat. So, yeah, as I was looking through, actually half hour before the show, just like winners and losers and who did what, because it all blends together. Obviously, the Lakers stand out because they just built a freaking video game team. And Brooklyn, Brooklyn's right there with them. But, yeah, I don't understand how you don't put someone with Zion. I don't get it.
So what I want to say, Kev, was, and I told you this before the show, 19% of NBA players changed jerseys over this past little free agency spirit. 19%. Yeah, 19% of the NBA changed jerseys. Secondly, Kawhi Leonard signed a 4-year, $176.3 million contract. That is not worth the investment. I'm sorry. I know these numbers don't mean anything to anybody anymore, but just as a human being in general, who the frig is worth 4 years, $176.3 million, and he still needs to go find 2 other stars? That's unbelievable in my head.
And the first year, he's probably not playing at all next year. So,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So I do want to hit Ben Simmons. We have to, but before we do that, I don't know, Mastradamus, I don't know if you have any comments on the NBA moves, who winners, losers, or we can go straight to Ben Simmons.
Dude, go straight to Ben Simmons. I mean, Jesus Christ, Ben Simmons.
You're muted.
That's Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah. All right, so Ben Simmons. All I'm hearing is negative stuff about his work habits and all that kind of thing. I don't know if that's being leaked to depress his value, but do you guys see a trade happening? Do you think it'll happen before the season starts? What are your thoughts on him?
Ray.
I'll go first. Listen, you know what? There's rumors that he's not calling the team, not contacting the team, doesn't want anything to do with them. Is going to hold out of camp. You know what? They show the usual the video they show every year. him and Rondo shooting 3-pointers in a gym. It's like the same clip. He comes up, he hits 2 shots. Probably never ever happen after that again. But they're going to keep showing this stuff, and we don't know what's real, what's not. I think they're going to probably try to trade him before the camp. I think they came out with those outrageous offers because he knew eventually he would get to a certain point where he would get what he needs to get. And I love Tyrese Maxey. I think you're right, Mastradamus. He looked great in that first Summer League game. 21 points, looked dominant. I love the kid's attitude. He's saying the right things. He's in the gym. You know what? Move on from this crumb bump. You know what? You're gonna lose a lot in defense. I understand that, but you know what? I would rather keep Thibault. I'd rather keep Thibault and Maxey right now. I like what I saw from Thibault in the Olympics. I mean, he played really well in the Olympics. He was the best player on their team, I thought. So you know what? Get rid of Simmons. Get more for him. Get some draft picks. But just move on. You can't live with. I mean, and if he's boycotting us because he's angry because of some post-game press conference comments, then you don't deserve to be in the NBA.
That's crazy. But here's the thing: with Embiid and without Simmons, I don't know if they'll be the 1 seed. I think that was kind of a chips fell the right way for them to be the 1 seed. But they're not going to fall to the lottery by losing Ben Simmons. Like, as long as Embiid's there and healthy, you're going to be playing, you're going to be competing for the Eastern Conference Final. I just, as a fan, I don't want to watch this shit anymore. Like, go with Matty, go with Thibault. I don't care who we go with. I just can't watch another year of the Ben Simmons, 12, 8, and 6 friggin' Thursday nights. I can't watch him anymore. And then shit the bed in the playoffs. So yeah, trade him for whatever you can get. I know they aim for the moon. You'll get a first round draft pick for him. Someone will give you a first rounder for him. Get a first round draft pick and a shooter. I'll be happy.
But they talked about trading, what's his face? I'm saying what's his face? Not Simmons, but
Harris.
No, your main guy.
Embiid.
Here's a quote. I'll find it. They were looking to trade Embiid for a real superstar.
What? When? 2 years? 8 years ago?
No, I'll find it. Kevin, did I say to you like last week? I said it to someone last week. I read it and I immediately. Yeah, I'll find it. I'm not kidding. It's
like
they made that real star.
Blow up like 911 after a plane crash. If somebody said they were going to train Embiid,
all right,
it'd be vibrating for 6 hours.
No, I'm just saying what the GM or owner said was they would only look to trade Embiid for a real star. That's what they said.
What, Durant and Harden?
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
I don't know if we can keep talking after that. Yeah.
They have been trying to trade Harris. I can believe that. And I think if they can get something really good, I would say do it. I don't think Harris is a true superstar.
I don't think he is either, Ray, but I think that it's hard to fill what he does because he's going to give you 20. And you can't start Thibault on the wing and worry that he's going to have games where he scores 6. So, like, at least Harris is dependable. I don't have a problem. He's overpaid, yes, but who isn't? So I don't mind Harris. It's get Simmons out of town just so we can look different and play different basketball. You can keep looking, Mike. There's no Embiid trade out there, man.
No, I know that. I'm just telling you what they said about him, what they would trade him for.
I think that's going to be a tough thing to find. All right, in other news, Washington scored a touchdown, 1 yard run by Peyton Barber, going to the half, up 7-6 against New England, but officially lost my first bet of the NFL season. Thank you, Peyton Barber. All right, so that's we don't have a ton of time left, but I do want to open the floor because we had football, we had Olympics, we had basketball, but I kind of want to give you guys a chance. Any other sports that we didn't bring up you want to mention a couple of things on? So I guess we'll start with Coach. Anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, real quick. Major League Baseball did this Field of Dreams tonight. It's on TV somewhere. Wicked cool idea. I wish they didn't have a wall in the back and they just had cornfield. So if you hit something to the gap, it just went into the field. I think that would be cool. But I saw something today where they want to try to fans are saying, well, why don't we recreate some of these other fields like the Sandlot and Doubleday Field and the Polo Grounds? I think it would be real cool. MLB can do anything they do in that way. Because one thing about baseball, it's the only sport where the fields are different, right? I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I tuned in. I watched a couple pitches, then we came on. So Yeah, good for MLB.
Yep. And that field, it's like backed up against the Field of Dreams from the movie, right? So like people go, yeah, that's pretty
I'd
cool.
like the NFL to try something like that where they move the goalpost back to the front on the goal line like it used to be, just to see how that looked.
And watch people knock themselves out.
You didn't do that in 1950. You got to run a play and end up knocking out.
Yeah. All right, King. Any topics you want to bring up?
Yeah. So the WWE continued their layoffs. They cut the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, who now if Bray Wyatt hooks up with Braun Strowman and then gets Eric Rowan and goes to AEW, he'll be there with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho in the Big Show. And pretty much WWE looks like me, in my opinion, they're going to sell. They're cutting all the big talent. They just cut 13 more people from NXT development, going with all young talent, which I hear as low contracts. They keep doing those 2 shows a year in Saudi Arabia. They've raised the value of the company to the point where they're showing that their bottom line is fantastic. That's the only reason you would do something like this. You don't gut an organization and give another organization the ability to be in competition with you. You never let somebody be a competitor. You don't just give people the opportunity to do that. They're gonna. I think they're gonna sell. And I know maybe you guys don't care about that, but man, the WWE and Vince McMahon, like my whole childhood is like connected to them. Rock and wrestling, the whole 9 yards. I'd hate to see the WWE go under, and I'm worried that it might.
I think it's the same thing. I mean, if you look at it, the MMA already did that to boxing. It already damaged boxing to the point where boxing was on life support. Now you're seeing it, I think, with wrestling as well. And you know it's only a matter of time. The WWE was always so strong for all those years, and they were the dominant, organization. But things change. The leadership changes, stuff happens, and then now, they're at that point now where they're going to have to make choices for survival, and it may not last too much longer for them, unfortunately. It is unfortunate, but it is a business.
No, I called for this a few shows back. I said that they would be making some slashes, and it's they let go of Ric Flair. I can't even believe it. But the reason is COVID. Absolutely was a killer to the theatrical part of wrestling. It's 100% something that needs the fan base there to be counting, to be destined, to be absolutely going along with what's going on there, and needed that, and it thrives off of it. That's what killed that. That's what hurt the business.
It was so bad in the dome. It was so bad. Like it was hard. It was hard to watch it with those damn screens in the background. It really was.
But you don't let people away like that, man. You don't cut
that's big names.
Those are like 3 or 4 of the past Universal champions. Like literally.
Like they built like 40% of WrestleMania was built around Bray Wyatt being nuts. Like he's a crucial part of the operation.
Yeah, it's
what? We've all lost our share of dollars, right? And we don't know how it feels to be rich, but I guarantee it hurts a rich man to lose a nickel way more than it does us. And when they do, they look in their pocket and they're like, someone's going to feel the wrath. And it's
all right. So King, what do we do? Just watch this thing bleed out? Is that the way it's going to go? Like more people are going to get slashed? They're just going to keep cutting guys? Like how does it bleed?
So here's where the worry comes in, right? The worry comes in with they got SummerSlam coming up this weekend. So what do? They go and they pay money for Goldberg, for Cena, for all older guys to come in, fight the champions, and then they leave. They're not building the young talent. They just slash 13. I'm telling you, I feel like this is what a company does before it sells itself. It gets rid of all its actual expenses, and it makes it look like it's just raking in money. And with the contract with Fox to do SmackDown and the contract with the Saudi Arabians to do 2 shows a year, they're making – look, when they do those shows in Saudi Arabia, they ask for Shawn Michaels and Triple H and The Undertaker. There was 2 matches that have happened. Goldberg fought The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. It was the worst match I've ever seen. It was two old guys trying to do moves, and they almost hurt each other on 4 occasions. Trying to do like a power driver, slipping, trying to do the move, can't hold them up. Looked friggin' awful. And then the second one was The Undertaker and Kane, who are just way past their prime, against Shawn Michaels and Triple H, who are both bald. Now, Shawn Michaels bald with the eyes now going slanted. It's just not a sexy boy. I'm just a sexy boy, sexy boy. That's not him anymore. Like, he's now bald with the googly eyes. And it was like sad. It was sad. I hate these moments in sports when you see somebody go do something or play a game and you feel sad for them. If I feel sad for you in any kind of sports, you should just get off the field, because no one should feel sad. I feel sad watching you perform.
All right.
Like the Eagles.
All right. All right. So, that's probably the most I've talked about wrestling in 10 years, maybe 15. Mastradamus, any final topic you want to bring up? Do you think we should talk through a little bit?
Jalen Hurts might pull up Danny Dimes on touchdown this year.
Listen. 2 things. 1, I'll bet you on touchdowns between Jalen Hurts and Danny Dimes. 2, I'll bet you on the Giants having a better record than the Patriots. And 3, we need 5 more spots to do the legit fantasy football league. We've got us 5, Buddy Thayer, which makes 6, Joey Paranormal, which makes 7. We need 5 people. They could be fans of the show, stuff like that. Not Mike Turner. Just not Mike Turner.
Because you're scared. You're frightened.
But seriously, we're looking for 5 spots. You guys are all going to be in it. Kev, you're going to come up with the date for the draft, because that's what you do. And we're going to get this going. We're going to have a fantasy football league. Legit.
All right. Yeah. So we need those 5. King, I think also wanted to mention that Zach from Southeastern Illinois Monster Group.
Yep. Our buddy Zach that we met down in Virginia, that was at the Bigfoot Con, has a show now, Wrestling with Monsters. It's a podcast that talks about either wrestling or Bigfoot, which I think is like chicken and waffles. Fantastic combo. Zach had a hot issue. He's on a monitor for 30 days. I want to wish him well. He also had one of the best wrestling names, right? It sounds more like a porn name, but he wears a cowboy hat to the ring, and he calls himself Duke Randall. Now, I love that name, but as we're driving home, I think it was driving home, I said to Kev, shouldn't he just call himself Dastardly Duke Randall? Like, isn't that a better adjective? Isn't that the one you want? Dastardly? Because when's the last time you used dastardly? And that fits the kind of cowboy he is. He calls himself the original outlaw.
Yep.
So good luck to him.
So Zach, feel better thinking about you. All right, Brother Ray. This doesn't have to be a closeout thing, but any other topic you want to you want to bring up that we didn't hit tonight?
Fantasy football. I mean, you heard at the end there, the gauntlet has already been put down by King. I mean, there were some major bets right there with Mastradamus. I mean, I'm going to remember those. I mean, this is it, man. It's on. Like, we're getting close to that time, and I'm getting excited.
Yeah. I started doing a ton of the research is starting on my site too, Brother Ray. I don't have the Our Lads publication, but I have some of my own sources. So yeah, but I'm getting into it. Oh my God, is that an ESPN magazine?
Dude, it was at Rite Aid, and they don't carry these anymore, I didn't think. Look, the last 3 years, I couldn't find a fantasy football magazine. During COVID, I remember trying to get into the Barnes & Noble like this. I just want a magazine.
That's right.
I couldn't get one. I went in Rite Aid, though, and boom, and this baby is solid, Kev. Actually, a lot of words.
That's what you want. That's what you want. A lot of words. Usually, this is not going to surprise any of you that have drafted with me or that know me. When I show up in a fantasy draft, I usually have 2 laptops going, a phone, like the whole thing. It's all like back and forth spreadsheets, applications, the draft room.
I was in a league one time where dude rolls up with like probability spreadsheets talking about standard deviation, and I'm like, I'm looking. This is back when I used to drink, and I'm looking at this guy like, dude, I'm just here for the fucking beer, man. I don't care about. Hilarious.
Exactly. All right, gentlemen. I think we're going to wrap it up at this point. Unless you guys want a final round or anyone wants to do a shot, we're going to shut down the bar for the evening. For King Mike L, Coach TJ, Brother Ray, Mastradamus, we're going to wrap up Bar Fongool for Thursday, August 12th. We will talk to you on Sunday morning for the NFL show.